Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Kimberly Cloud Show. I'm your host, Kimberly Cloud. So, today we are going to be looking at a little bit of everything from Fox News. So, happy Sunday. So, all races, all two, only two. It's not like it's infinite, but two genders. So, let's get started. He said, if you died, what would you want to be remembered for? And he said his faith and God, his faith in God. I think he said. Let's clear the air. Let's clear the air. Give me just 1 second. It's obvious that people, hold on. Fascist is adherent of fascism, a far right, authoritarian, and ultra nationalist political ideology that prioritizes the nation above individual interests. While classical fascist regimes were defeated in World War II, the neo fascism is used to describe contemporary movements with similar ideologies. National rebirth. Fascist ideology often centers on a mythic past of a national greatness from which a nation has declined. Okay, anyway, us versus them, defined as a national community by creating an in-group and demonizing out-group for others. That is not true. I can guarantee that is not true. If your nation wants to sit up there and lie to you for 4 years, I had to hear that crap. For 4 years, I had to have CNN, MSNBC, NBC, and all the other groups sit up there and lie. And what happened was they lied about certain things Biden was doing. You know, they kept things under wrap. After the presidency, everybody cut a deal and made a book. You know, like, how is that? Dictatorial, dictator, dictatorial, dictatorial leadership. Fascist movements feature a powerful, charismatic leader who is revered as a savior and claims to embody the will of the people. That's not true. If he was such a dictator, everybody that sat up there and treats him like crap with him in power and is gaining control rapidly, even more, he would have them arrested. The only thing that's going to come out of this, you know, like he not only arrested, but and he has done that, but that doesn't make him a dictator. He's doing what's right. He's doing what's right. You sat up there and lied to the people for 4 or 5 years. What consequences? You lied to me. You lied to me. You shut me out of NPR. You shut me out of different platforms where I can tell, like public television. Like, you shut me out. That's a dictator of the television network, and you know it takes a television network to get through to the people. This sound more like a negative theory of what somebody put, authoritarianism. You know, like, I don't even want to read no more. Control over the media. Do he have control over the media? I'm reading nothing. Glorification of violence. When have you known Trump to glorify violence? If anything, he's trying to suppress violence. The more I see this crap, the more y'all make no sense when y'all call this guy a fascist. Charlie Kirk or Trump. Y'all sound stupid. I want y'all to read what is being said. Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans represent extremism. I would look up every word, but I don't. I have too much stuff that's on my stuff that I didn't take off. So how is he dangerous, Tampon? How is he dangerous? Like he's trying to help America. He's trying to get the drugs off the street. Who want who the only thing that's legal is weed. Who want to get the drugs off the street? Who would like to get the heroin, so that people won't be nodding out. I seen a clip from a certain state, I won't say which state, but people are nodding out with their heads all down and just standing there for long periods of time, and I'm like, what is going on? Why wouldn't you want to see the streets clear? Like, what is the agenda of this democratic government? Why wouldn't you want the clean streets to be clean? See, what people do is they'll put people like him in the spotlight to sit up there and continue to call people fascists, fascists, fascists. Like you have to really read it because what AOC was saying was not what I read. They done concocted up what the Democrat term of a fascist mean. If Google is saying all of this, none of this. Do you expect Donald Trump to be a Chico on a stick or something and not have no emotion or not have anything like those who are without sin cast the first stone? And I dare you to, like I don't see any view of him in any of this. I urge you guys, like Christy Nome said, to focus on your relationships with others. Don't worry about what's going on outside of your relationships. You know, that's not what she's saying, but focus on your relationships. Plus, sorry, that contradicts what I said. I say focus on everyone, but I understand what she's saying focus on your relationships. Um, if your relationship seems unhealthy and if you have to take a bullet, not take a bullet, but push a bullet out on someone else's uh life, take someone else's life away because you just want to take their life away because you want to be that person to get credibility or notability, um you're sick. So talk amongst each other, but start being fruitful, you know, I guess it's in the Bible, and not multiply. Like, I'm not saying meet friends, lots and lots of friends. You know, that's what Trump do, right? That's what Christy Nome do. She was prior governor. Um, you know, like people, they have cliques, you know, and how cool it would be and how solid it would be if the Democrats could work with us. It would be so cool, but we know it's not going to happen. There's too much hate, too much dark energy. Think how strong America would be if we stopped fighting each other. Trump is 79 years old. He shouldn't have to go behind people older than him and people around his age to fix the fucked up shit they done to the country. He shouldn't have to go and clean up what they messed up. They say that when you have power, you can do whatever you want in power. Well, look at what Trump's doing. You know, he's trying to make America great again. He has been making America great again. When you have power and you try, and then somebody tries to undermine and try to stop it, you ask yourself, why are they stopping it? If you want to see states get clean, then why have something to say about it? What isn't that what you want? Wouldn't you want your state to be nice and clean so that people can walk up and down the street and the police don't have to be like that congested with criminals? They'll just be locked up and the crime will be down. Everybody's stress level will be down. Oh, I forgot. Your stress level is perfect because you don't have to worry about being shot, being stabbed, being beaten to death. When I move, I can never get a business. I can never get a business because it's going to become public record. And I already know there are going to be people trying to look me up, and hopefully I'll be ready for that when the day comes. My house is going to be booby trapped like Home Alone. Oh, I got to hear her say that again. Hold up. Oh my God, she said what I knew it was important. She said China sending people in through the open border, Russia, the same thing. I was just talking about how what if Russia sent the KGB with and a Chinese organization military, a secret Chinese organization military and a secret KGB, which is not a secret, the KGB, but across the borders. They done been here so many years, they know where to hide. Just like I don't understand how in New York City the the Chinese had. I'm not prejudiced. I put that on God Almighty Himself, but the Chinese had their own precinct, their own Chinese precinct. What government organization paid them to have their own pre? How does a government pop up in another government? How does they pop up? Ask yourselves that. That's like a whole bunch of black people popping up in China. It wouldn't happen. I bet you China can account for all his black people. I'm so sorry. Hold on. Adversaries trying to unseat America as the number one superpower or the enemy within. Adversaries trying to do that to hold on, which means hold on. So what if we had a real invasion? I mean, this is a real invasion. Don't get me wrong, it was a real invasion. But what if we had an invasion because our president allowed that's and it all goes back to the crop circles, how they used to say that this is what they used to say allegedly, that the government allows certain people to be abducted. you know this is like a countrywide invasion, and we got invaded heavily. And what if there was real aliens invading? What if there was real aliens invading? Would it be because the government allowed it? This shows that whoever, I'm not talking bad about aliens. All I'm saying is whoever America is working with is the good people. There's still some bad people on the left, but whatever powers that be that rests within Trump's mind and Pete Hegseth, they are working with the good people that knows that good oversees bad, and this is what they know. So they're trying to raise proteges of themselves, to spew that hate and have that hate in their heart, so they can go around killing people that speak Christian or talk the Christian code, because they want to see millions of Christians die. This is a war. We're at war, a silent war. Imagine. 150,000, 10,000 new ICE officers. You know, just think about that. There's like, think about that for a second. There's almost 1,000 or 1,200 officers to like 8 to 900,000 people here. Imagine 10,000 officers to how many people it takes to. This is like a decade long thing. There's people literally underground in tunnels right now trying to hide from the government. And they're going to, they're not to come out. I mean, look at what they do over in Iraq. They build tunnels. Do you think God wouldn't be almighty if he sat up there and let the devil shoot at him? You think God is going to allow the devil to shoot at them in their in heaven and just get away with it like, you know what, I forgive him without any form of punishment? It it takes it takes God to pull the Trump family do what has happened to them. And it takes a stronger family to stick together and stay solid like the Trump family has. With everything, all the false news, all the misrepresentation, all the disinformation, you know, what they're still together. I remember reading something about Melody just want this to be over, you know, and because this was during the rallies, and I didn't believe it. I'm like, either to one or two things, somebody is lying, or I don't, I never, I doubt if it was the truth, but I think that it was people extracting information from people and spinning it to make it look another way than what it really is. Right now, there's a list on X being compiled for when people start saying stuff. For instance, when people start saying stuff, hateful stuff, we know that they were like the Democrats know that the mainstream media lied to us, and they said this is something, or gave us disinformation and said this is something that we should get over. That was fact. That was fact. But to call people names and not know the entire definition, only the spin-off definition of a fascist, is just wrong. So what is going to happen to reduce people from coming out calling people fascists? I mean, like, they're being watched. They don't know it, but they're being watched. I think if I was Democrat around this time, let's say I was Democrat, this would have changed my life and caused me to turn Republican. So I don't understand why Democrats don't see that this is wrong, what has happened. You know, this is very wrong. You don't kill nobody because they don't see the same views as you. That's political hate. That's a hatred that only a adversary president would have towards someone like Charlie Kirk. I want y'all to see something. Racial purity resulted in a Holocaust. So if Trump wanted to be like Hitler, he would get more states on board to kill more people. He wouldn't sit up there and try to save a lot of Black people or Hispanic Americans or Chinese American, because anybody can get a bullet, even me. And he wouldn't be trying to save us. So that is a false term. A fascist is a false term. There's one thing to celebrate somebody. I never would celebrate somebody dying. If you did me wrong, I would sit up there and I would say, well, I have no remorse. I mean, what do you want me to do? But to celebrate somebody death, to celebrate somebody's death without saying, okay, I'm celebrating this death because he's going to be reborn into a angel or another being, you know, to say it that way is one way, but to celebrate hate death is terrible. That's demonic. And you're going to hell for that. Just think if an alien was here. Just think if an alien was here, they would they would have no rights. They would have no rights. I'm not talking about Mexican aliens. I'm talking about a real foreigner, a human like, or even a gray. You know, imagine a gray walking down the street of a Democratic city or even a Republican city. You know, but I'm using Democratic. You know, they would be shot. They would literally be shot or taken for ransom because it's less of them on this planet. So they would, you know, who knows what people think. People minds are twisted. That's a twisted thing to do, is to sit up there and celebrate somebody getting shot in the neck. How can you be so cruel, man? And their minds are so warped. I go back to that cell phone thing. I go back to that cell phone thing. I think, I'm telling you, man, something isn't right with these cell phones. They said they sat for 12 hours the FBI in Salt Lake City before giving it the information to Cash Patel. I want y'all to think about that for a second. I'm just spitting the truth. I guarantee if people were on, instead of on heroin and fentanyl and crack cocaine and cocaine, if people weren't on that, they would see through the lies that the media gives you about these things. Did you read that? He said that all in the 1960s it was being ran by the far left, and now we have now, and it has turned into nothing but a death cult. And now it's not even just a death cult; it's an AI death cult where they use the dark AI to find loopholes in the system to sit up there and assassinate people. I mean, think about that. It was the Russia hoax. Like, why would you do that? And Trump was like, I forgot when the Russia hoax came out. Hold on for a second. 2017, 2016, May 2017. Think about this, you guys. The You act like he wasn't supposed to be influential where he talked to Russia. Like he got like secret security clearances. So you think he can't talk to Russia? It's like, I better not talk to Russia because we're going to make up a story and we're going to call it the Russia hoax. How do y'all feel about the Russian and Ukrainian war? They said Europe is still funding Russia oil, still paying for oil. You gotta think about that. So I appreciate you guys for watching me, and I am about to get off of here, but I'll be back on here to possibly edit a video. So yeah, that's off the subject. Um, so I'll see you guys later. It's just sad that the war had to continue. I mean, think about it for a second. What, who is winning? They said the left movement is happening in Germany and everywhere. And that's a scary thing, man. That's a scary, scary thing. Especially when we don't know what's at our fingertips with AI. We know a simple phone can cause behavioral problems, you know, but what if something was unleashed in a world that is beyond recognition? Something that we don't even know, that is causing a lot of people to not think clear. That's why I can never travel. I'll just pop a YouTube video, on and watch it from Germany. If I need to know that bad what Germany is about, I'll go on Google Maps and find a address from Germany and just go up and down the street, go back and forth up and down the street. That's as close as I'm going to get to going overseas because I see what happens. A lot of people get poisoned. A lot of people get, and you can get poisoned here too, and I probably gotten poisoned before by idiots, but, you know, um, I would never, sit up there and I can't believe some people are so sinister, all because you got a Republican on RNC, Republican, like that's sad that you would want to take someone out just because they speak something that you cannot debate. That the truth is set in stone like God. You can't go around the truth. So what they do is if they can't get what they want, they fight with violence. They'll talk to you, you'll tell them the truth. They can't go around it because it's the truth. The truth is solid, solidity. You can't go around the truth. You can spin some narrative off that make it seem like this is really what it was, but nobody was there when things were happening to me. Nobody can say they were right beside me except God, except the government. Nobody, whether crooked or not, nobody can say out there that they were right there beside me as I was going through troubled times. And the truth is solid. And I'm telling my truth, and yet some people think I'm lying. It hurts people when truth cannot be moved. Truth is like matter. Truth is like matter. That's why I tell it. On this earth, it's only so much a person can tell. Because people have been equipped in their minds to play God. And those be the main ones going down to hell. The ones that want to play God and take someone's life. Y'all take care. Okay? Bye. I'll be back on here later.
Never waste my time, you all I want.